Okay, it's time to build a scene in Hype from scratch, or at least we've already created the assets for the scene, and now we're going to bring them into Hype and start to add a bit of animation, a bit of interactivity. So, back in the Finder, I've got on the desktop my Hype workshop file, and in that folder is another folder called assets. And before I drag in any of those assets, I am going to make a new scene. So back in Hype, I've got the scene list open, and I'm just going to click this plus sign to make a new scene. This scene is going to be called Choice. Enter. And I'm going to click and drag this scene to rearrange it, and I want to put it after station and before help. So there's my new scene. Let's drag in the elements. You'll see there's no elements listed in the main timeline at the moment, so time to get a few in here. I'm just going to go back to the Finder, and I want you to drag in every element starting with the label Scene 3. And these can just be selected, and then dragged and dropped into Hype. Now, I want to rearrange these elements in their stacking order. Just change the order of the layers, because at the moment my background layer is covering everything. So let's go back down to the main timeline, and I'm just going to click and drag this layer all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to position it in the middle, and Hype has these very useful sort of smart aligning features which help you get it in the middle. And there it is. There's my background layer. I'm going to click this padlock to lock the position of that so that I don't accidentally move it around anymore. And now I just want you to just move the elements aside so we can see what it is we're dealing with. And there's a few elements we don't need at the moment. We don't need all of these elements just yet. I'm going to delete all the glowing elements because they're going to be used for button hover states. So I'm just going to click on this one, this head with call for help under it, and delete. Try the door, delete, jump the wall, delete. Okay. And now I want you to rearrange these elements in the positions that you need them. This asset has been created a little bit too large for this scene, so we'll have to resize it. Let's try the door to here, jump the wall down here, and call for help is going to be here, but I need to resize it. So holding the shift key, I'm going to drag this corner handle, click and drag the corner handle till it's the right size, and maybe just slightly larger, estimating from the size of the type. And I'm now going to just hold the shift key, and so I can select multiple elements and just click to move those up a little bit in the scene. Okay. So these are going to form my 3 buttons for this scene. Now any element in Hype can have an action put in it. Like when you click it, the button will do something. But I want to make these appear to be a little bit more like buttons. I'm going to go Edit, Show Button Controls for this selected element. And the same for these two. I'm just going to hold down Shift to select them both. Edit, Show Button Controls. Okay, so now whenever I click on these elements, it'll give me these 3 buttons at the top. These 3 controls at the top. Let me explain to you exactly what it is we're going to do. When I click on Hover, I could change the properties of the hover state of this button to make it appear in a slightly different way. So when the user moves their mouse over it, the the appearance of the button will change in order to indicate to the user, hey, this is a clickable element, you should click on it to see what happens. So here on the try the door button, the hover state is going to be a different background image. So I'm in the background property image, scale to fit I will leave, but I'll go choose, and I'm just going to locate on the desktop in my Hype Workshop folder in assets. I want to locate this Scene 3 button, try over. Let's just see what the effect of adding that to the hover state of the button is. I'm going to test this scene, preview the scene. I don't want to preview the whole movie, I just want to preview the current scene in the browser. Okay, and if I mouse over this button, you see the button state changes to say, hey, click this element, it's a button. Okay, let's do that to the other two buttons. Jump the ball first of all. Let's go to the element inspector, hit the choose button, and let's swap that out for Scene 3 button jump over. And I just double clicked at that time. And call for help. I click on that, choose, oops, cancel, hover state, choose, and Scene 3 choice, head over. And you can get quite creative with what the buttons do. This button has the amusing quality of when you mouse over it, the mouth of the character opens as if he is calling for help. I am now going to, right, actually that's it. We've put the scene together. In the next movie, I'm going to add some actions to this scene, and you'll see what we can do in Hype.